Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. What do I do for you? Doing part two. We just got finished going through, so let's do it. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Message is story for life. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. I just gave a good one. I'm trying to back it up with another one. Let's go. I give life lessons. You tuning and receiving them. I hope it working out for you. That's what I'm doing it. I hope you get the lesson today. It's a good one for you. Let's do what we do. All right. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Know yourself a little bit better. Right thinking is way of life. If you practice it, that's what's going to be for you. Why? Because the mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do that, and all right thinkers' goal is to reach that level of knowing thyself. I ask the question: do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. Teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I just got finished going over the Netherrean right thinker philosophy, sexual misconduct. This is part two. More information for you. This is titled Mastering the Control of Your Sexual Urges, as well as your dispassion and detachment from situations that'll help you do just that. So let's get it on. I ended up with seeking the source of all pleasures, and the only source of true abiding happiness is nihas, or spiritual enlightenment. Thus, everyone needs to practice what? Control of your sexual urges, as well as what? Dispassion and detachment. That's how you can deal with situations from just an unbiased concept. If you don't have no emotions in the situation, you got no attachment to the situation, you can deal with it better. A lot of times we get caught up in situations because of our passion, emotion, or our involvement with the situation. To get better at that, you take them out of the equation and you do better. Watch this. Yes, watch this. And this does mean that what? Eventually, one is to what? Discover a form of what? Transcendental fulfillment where? Beyond sex. That's past the physical body. Understand it? That is hard. Why? Even for most initiates, great thinkers, to believe and accept. Why? This teaching was explained in the chapter 175 of the Per M. Haru text. It states, if one has this level of understanding, then the question, watch this, of being involved in a sexual relationship with someone of the opposite or the same sex becomes moot. Don't make a difference what your sexual preferences is. When you gain a spiritual knowledge understanding, had nothing to do with it. Why? Because you got to control whatever you're doing, who you're doing it with anyway. That's why. Moving on. Now, seeking and engaging in what? Sexual relationships with others of the opposite or same sex to fulfill one's desires for happiness reinforces what? Two erroneous concepts. Okay? Him too. But watch this. The first one is what? The misconcept is the first one is a physical being. We're not physical beings, we're spiritual beings. I'm gonna get to that. And the physicality of one's existence. The five senses is how the brain functions in the body. That's all they can go by. is locked inside the head, the eyes to see, nose to smell, ears to hear, mouth to speak, and senses to touch. That's how the physical body is ran. Watch this. But when you just dealing with your physical, one's existence, watch this, rather than one being a what? A spirit or soul that is what? Beyond physical existence. Again, what's inside us don't die. The body will. Come on now. And therefore, listen, sexual relationships, and secondly, that true abiding happiness, if you think true abiding happiness can be found through what? Outer, worldly, or sexual experiences and interrelationships, rather than through one's inner experience of what? Oneness with God, like I tell you, with the divine. I keep making that point clear. Thus, watch this, the desire to have sex for pleasure is normal. Simple, yeah. Whether it be with the same or opposite, it's a normal desire of the physical body. If you're ran by the physical body, which is the ego part of yourself, lower self, that's what you will do. Simple as that. Okay? So if you have the sexual pleasures as with what? The desires to what? Seek abiding pleasure, which is happiness in the world of time and space, by any means is what? Erroneous, ridiculous, and will what? Be fleeting and unfulfilling in the end. Why? No worldly things can bring you abiding happiness like the inner understanding and knowledge of self will. That's why true abiding happiness what? Cannot be acquired through sexual relationships with other human beings, no matter what it is, male or female. So get that part understood. Or through what? Attainments of the world of time and space. Anything in this world, it ain't gonna cut it. So understand that and you'll be fine. So whether you like to have sex with men, have animals to make a difference, oh, that's irrelevant. Okay. Of course, with knowledge of self, you can reframe, you have control over that urge. That's all it is. Not a divine, not no, it's an urge. And if like a thought, thoughts come and go, yeah. But if you harp on it, make it a manifestation, that's what's gonna happen. So if you have bad intentions or you just have desire to do your thing, you're gonna do it by hook or crook until you what? Realize there's something more. Furthermore, watch this, moving on. Furthermore, at the highest level, again, low level is doing the nonsense, but at the highest level of the teaching, right? Think philosophy masters, what happened? There is no individual soul. Why not? There is only the one divine self. Everything comes from the one, and it's going to end up going back. It don't change. It haven't changed, and it won't change. You need to understand that, and then you'll be better. Why? Because you have to change your philosophy. If that ain't what it is, you need to change it. Why? Because it's wrong. Believing, watch this. Believing, again, that word, that an individual exists as what? The individual soul is lower level spiritual understanding, religion, and to assist what? The transition of the understanding of aspirants from what? Knowing themselves as a physical individual being to what? Understanding with knowledge and teachings that they are not physical beings, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but spiritual beings, okay? I added the rest because I know that, but they just said we are spiritual beings. Thus, watch this, the teachings support the idea of what? Existence of what? Individual souls for those who are what? At the lower level of understanding, which is ignorance of your higher self. But eventually, one must do what? Go let go of what? That individuality concept, even at the soul level, to what? Attain nihas. If you're still ignorant, you can't obtain nihas. You have to let it go and raise your conscious level and be and do better. And by doing that, and you're discovering what? Your one true self and the only being in existence. I could start right there, but I won't. That says it all right there. We all from the same one. Hence, brothers and sisters, come on now. He's mother and father. Come on. Why we got issues with all this gender and nonsense? Sorry about that. That's another lesson. Let me get into this one. All right, let me go. Let me go. Almost done. I got one more page, half a page. So I'm just still here. Now, when one has this perspective, and listen, this is my perspective that I live by. I put aside me. I'm telling you about what I do. Watch this. There is no need to become involved in relationships to what? Obtain happiness and fulfillment. Understand that. I'm not beat for companionship. I'm not beat for sexual. None of that. I'm not beat for none of that at this point in my life. Not now. Okay. Why? Because it's all you. And since you are what? Complete, all encompassing, there is no need to what? Connect with others to what? Feel wholeness. I don't need you to feel me and be me. Not knowing, not being disrespectful, no tip. I need you to understand that. Why? If you think I need you, you got the wrong idea. I'm gonna tell you right now, no. But the concept of the ocean, which encompasses what? All the waves. Watch this. And being full and complete. The ocean don't concern itself about the drops and the waves. Why? It has no need to what? Unite with an individual wave to feel complete, whole or full. Again, it's already there. God can multiply billions of times over and don't add nothing. He can lose billions of people and don't miss nothing. Get the concept? This is why sages generally are what? Celibate. And is not a strain for them. Again, I'm not beat for that nonsense. I'm just saying. Oh, no, it ain't about that. It's about you having a better understanding. Come on, man. Stop trying to make what wrong right and justify. Well, you don't do that. I get it right. I get hard. I get turned on order, but I control that. Can you say that? That's the difference. So moving on. Watch this. Now, it's no strain for them, us, as it is for what? Most striving aspirants. You haven't learned to master and control it. That's what I'm trying to teach you how to control that. That's the part of knowing thyself. And since having discovered what? They're all true, pervasive, all-encompassing essence of themselves. Now there is what? No need for them to what? Seek lower level of transient pleasure of the flesh. I have no use for that. Since what? They are experiencing higher peace and fulfillment. I am so happy and content with what it is I'm doing, how I'm doing it. When you can say that, that's self-mastery. That's all. I'm not bragging. I'm just letting you know the work that I put in, I'm getting the results for the work that I put in. This is the fruits of my labor. Thus, watch this. The enlightened sage, which I am, engaged in what? Relationships at a practical level. Again, spiritually, teacher-student level, not physical. I don't need no relationship. Male or female, doesn't make a difference. Tutoring, teaching, spiritual friendship. I got my church family, I got my students. I'm good with that. Okay, I'm a grown man. But when you live in accordance with what your past RE, which is karma, that is running its course. I'm getting back what I put out, and I'm being blessed every day. Can you say that? When you live in the right way, you could. So moving on, let me get this thing done. All right, man, let me get this done. I'm on another page though. But watch this now. That's how I philosophically practice my lifestyle. That's why I said that's me. Why? That's what I do. That's how I feel. It's all in a nutshell. So all of this being said is more for your own understanding rather than what facilitating you to be able to bring the teachings to homosexual personality. I ain't particularly discrediting y'all. I'm just teaching. I don't care who you are, what your preference is. That's personal. Nothing to do with me. Again, because what? Most homosexual personalities, watch this, and this is even more reinforced. Why? Because they are and have been struggling for what? Acceptance and validity from the general society. Yeah, I've always been frowned upon. Why do you think that is? It's not productive. It's not a good way of life. It's not something that's going to get you where you want to go. I don't know no gay person in heaven. I'm just saying, because this is an abomination according to anybody's standards, not just Christians, Muslims. Everybody frowned upon that, but yet y'all constantly do it. Sodomites. I got a new word now. I'm gonna make sure I keep that word in my arsenal. There's a lot of that going on, man. My man with the P Diddy with the freak out, sodomites. All them are sodomites. All y'all comedians who bend over, sodomites. All right, let me get this out of the way. So when you're doing this, in general society, homosexual activity is frowned upon. But they got gay rights. They got the rainbow. They hijacked the rainbow. So they flaunting their abominant lifestyle and we accepting it. But we can't, as a race of people, be respected. Really? Moving on. Just get some think about that. So and y'all striving for acceptance and validity in the general society. Ain't gonna happen. Identify themselves what their very essence with their homosexual ego person. There you go. That's the ego personality. Rather than watch this, rather than seeing their homosexuality as something that they do, not something that you are. Again, you're only homosexual if you having intercourse with another man. If you don't put that thing in him, you ain't homosexual. You can feel what you want, you can love him all you want, but until that act, okay, so that's karma. And when that act, you got some repercussions. Moving on. But watch this. Now, separate from what? Their essence. Again, that ain't who you are. That's what you do. They often make statements, watch this, to the effect, I have been this way since I was a child. Yeah, you've been mentally messed up since a child. No problem. We're not questioning how long you've been. We're trying to answer the question why you been there or how you got there so we can help you out. That's all. It's not normal. Moving on. I always knew this is who I am. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Of course, these types of statements and these type of people are what? Ignorant, and all it does is reinforces one's what? Identity as being what? An individual. That's ego. When you say I, tell you all the time, that's telling me I'm gay. No, you're not. That's your choice to be gay. And again, free will. So it's not a big deal, but to have rights for being gay, that's why I do a lot. Moving on. So watch this. That reinforces the identity of being what? An individual. And watch this. Other than one divine self, they don't know themselves. That's obvious. Watch this. So, from the perspective of homosexuality or even heterosexuality are erroneous from what a spiritual point of view. Why? But you will not find any homosexual personality willing to let go of their homosexual identity. They're going to die being gay. Watch this. And thus, they will not be able to practice high mystical spirituality or reach the Nihas. I just told you, there's no homos in heaven. That's what they said. Why? They stuck on stupid, which requires, watch this, because they have never reached higher mystical spirituality. They never had that experience. Why? Because that requires letting go of what? The physical, the ego identity, and what's this? The physical identity and be able, no, identification of what? Oneself as male or female, except as fitting to deal with the particular reality. And of course, the same goes for heterosexuals who are what? Also unable to let go of what? Their physical sexual urges or the individual identity crisis being sexually aroused by the opposite sex. Don't make a difference. No control over your lower nature is not good, period. That's why y'all don't make it to the next level. So whether you're straight, gay, don't make a difference. You still stuck at that level, that's where you'll be. That's what it's there for. That's a safeguard. See, that's what we know. Some people we can keep out. That's why Masons in any occult group have passing words and signs and tokens to let you know who we are. Okay, let me wrap this up. I again appreciate you. The spiritual practice, and that's what this is all about, right? Thinking may be on the spirituality practiced by what many homosexuals, watch this, is just more of a quasi spirituality. Why? Because something that they have created to validate their lifestyle and themselves as what? Human beings. They stuck on being human, so they want to feel human. We are spiritual beings. They can't raise that concept, so they're stuck on that level like most other ignorant people. It ain't just homosexuals that stuck or stupid, so don't get it twisted. So understand that. But they do their thing. Watch this. Satisfied in their own self. And just as heterosexuals have created a culture that supports and affirms what? Heterosexuality. Heterosexuality is more acceptable to the teachings because what? It is closer to the order of nature. And when a human being lives in harmony with what? Nature, what happens? They more adapt to what? To be able to transcend with it. This ultimately, if one spiritual movement does not include what? All three levels of spiritual practice in advanced religion, myth, the ritual, and the mysticism, which includes what? The precepts, of the Maya we discussed above, related to what? Sex regulations. We know how Maya feel about that. It cannot be considered as what? True, authentic religion or spiritual practice. Why? More can be found in what? Authentic spirituality in our books regarding the resurrection of Osiris, got that. Initiation to Egyptian yoga, got that. And the Book of the Dead, got that as well. And some other books, I got them as well. So I learn philosophical points of view so I can practice and then teach them. Moving on, last one. Thus, through the path of commission or right thinking philosophy, spirituality is open to who? All. All are not able, watch this, to practice it in what? An advanced manner. Why? Due to the intensity of the disciplinary nature of it. Some people are not going to give up what they like, be it male or female, be you like men or women. If you're still stuck on that, you're not going to raise your level, including what? Mastering the precepts of Maya. If you can't do that, you can't master yourself, aka the precepts of Maya. Such personalities, watch this, would have difficulty what? Following any authentic mythical tradition. Don't make a difference. For the same reason, again, many are called, but they say few are chosen. Why? Because some of us gonna get tired. Some of us gonna say, man, that ain't worth it. If some people put in the work, they claim they put in the work and they getting the results, they're not gonna keep putting in the work. Okay, that's why you putting in good work, you will be rewarded. You just putting the work, think you doing something, ain't doing nothing, you getting the results. That's why Cain and Abel, one was jealous and one was rewarded. Why? One put the work in and one didn't. It's simple. So therefore, let me wrap this up. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. Just as those who practice adultery cannot be allowed to serve as priests and priestesses. Why? Those who are homosexuals also cannot be allowed either. Priests and priestesses are leaders by examples for the community to follow, not perpetrating the fraud and then find out how they really are. People depend on you. If you let them down, that's part of my God being looked at a little different by they seeing God in you. Those who should desire to become right thinkers, clerks or Netherine clerks must what? Be willing to what? Renounce. First of all, listen, you must be willing, not that you have to, you must be willing to renounce what? Your lower erroneous notions and adhere to what? The new regulations of who? Mayat in all sexual matters. Being a teacher of Netherine paths means what? Following a life of what? Order, truth. That is the Mayate. That's the truth of the practical world, but ultimately also is the truth that transcends the world of time and space. Living right, doing right, being right is all Mayat represents. And the philosophy teaches you by living it daily, you'll recognize it and what? You'll be better for it. I am. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back.